Hi, everybody. This is Steve Mandy from SMA Law Firm. Welcome to Building the Bridge. I'm here with Josh Goldberg from Nath, Goldberg and Meyer, a patent attorney in New York. We're talking about IP. So, Josh, when it comes to foreign nationals and companies that are wanting to launch or launching or already launched in the US, what are some of the biggest IP challenges that you see?
That's a really great question. There are a lot of different ways to answer that, but the number one challenge that I have is companies who don't know what they don't know, right? So what does that mean? Either one, they don't know what IP is and how to protect themselves, or two, they are somewhat savvy and they know those things, but they don't know what IP they already own or how to find it. Or even number three, they don't know what IP they should have, what IP they should protect, and then how to go about doing that. So to kind of wrap all three of those into one story with one client I've had in the past. I had a client that came to me, a potential client that came to me years ago. It was a company that was run by two brothers, one here in the US and one international. So the US brother ran the US side of the business and the other brother ran the international side. And this was a specialty skincare company. They did all sorts of pharmaceutical and over-the-counter topical products, for acne, for psoriasis, what have you. That was their whole business. And they came to me shortly after the international brother died. And they said, look, we have a real problem. We're trying to take ourselves from a $200 million company to $1 billion company in 5 years. And in this space, we know the only way we can do that is if we have strong IP protection. We don't know what IP protection we have. We don't know what IP protection we should have. And we don't know how to train and educate our people so that they don't give away whatever it is we could protect before we get it.
So they were at $1 billion of revenue and didn't have these protections and didn't even know what those protections were.
They were at 200 million. They wanted those.
Okay, got it.
So what happened was that the two brothers, remember I'm talking about two brothers, they were independent from each other, barely spoke to each other. And the international brother who died had actually spent a fair bit of effort in getting patents to protect their products around the world, but never told anybody what he was doing. So he died and there was no central repository, there was no database, there was no nothing. So the people left behind had no idea what assets they had. That was the first thing we did for the client. We went through and looked through all the different patent offices and databases and talked with our colleagues in other countries, other patent lawyers, that we have a very large network. And we came up with about 200 different pieces of IP that brother done for the company. It was, I think, 180 or so patents and about 20 or so trademarks in various countries around the world. So then we were able to show, okay, this is what you already own. And the next thing we did, we went through the main facilities here in the US, in Florida, in Albany, New York, and down in North Carolina, the Research Triangle. We toured all of those facilities, all those plants, talked with people, and we said, okay, so now we know, here's what you have on the market, here's what your people are working on, either researchers or manufacturing people, because they had their own manufacturing facilities, whatever it was. And we came up with a hit list. Here's everything you should be protecting, or you should look to be protecting before it launches in the future. And we came up with a big list of, okay, here's all the things we can do. Here's where we see gaps in what's already on the market. Some of them, unfortunately, it's too late already. So there's not a whole lot for us that we can do to help you out. Most of them, it was, oh, okay, you've been on the market for a short time or you're getting ready to launch. Let's get out there and let's file a whole bunch of patent applications for you right away in the next month to make sure no rights are lost.
What's the cutoff for late or not, or too late,
Too late is 1 year. So if you've been on the market selling, if you've already published, any kind of public disclosure, anything of putting it out there sets a 1 year clock in which you can file your patent application.
So I guess potential competitors would be scrounging up any semblance of you being on the market in order to start that clock going.
Right. So, talking about this client, they had one product they were selling in Korea for 7 years. Nobody knew about it. Nobody who was still in the company knew they were selling this product in Korea. We tried to file a patent application here in the US, and it got rejected because their own Korean product was cited against them.
Wow.
You know what? At that point, we just had to hold up our hands. There's nothing we can do.
This is literally global level due diligence that you had to do.
Exactly, exactly. So then once we went through that, we went on tours to all the facilities, not just here in the US. They have facilities in London, in Sao Paulo. I visited all of those places to give a lecture series, not just to the C-level, C-suite, but to everybody, whoever was working in the company in some way related to their products. So they understood, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to bring value to the company. This is what we can do. And most importantly, this is what we cannot do, publish or tell other people what we're doing before we've done what we need to do to protect ourselves. And once they got through that, it was a lot smoother. We started buying companies for them based on how strong the IP portfolio of the other companies were. And at the end of the day, little shy of 5 years, 6 years, so they missed the target by a little bit, the company sold for $1 billion to GlaxoSmithKline.
Amazing. Amazing. Imagine all the money they would have lost if they hadn't undergone that revision and taken all those protections that they needed to.
Absolutely. So, you know, the general counsel and the CEO came to us at first. They said, this is our goal. This is our vision. Can you help us do it? Absolutely, we can get you there. If you have the innovations, we can get you where you want to go. And sure enough, we did. Again, a little bit late, but you know, cosmic scheme, I think we did pretty well.
Sounds like it. So if for those people who have that sort of drive and those goals of being successful in the US, how do they contact you about these different protections and having a strategy, a global strategy?
Sure. So you can see my name, email address, and phone number to my right. I'm in meetings, Zooms like this all the time, being interviewed all the time. Easiest way to contact me is always by email. I get back to everybody who emails me. Phone can sometimes take a lot longer.
Wonderful. Thanks for your knowledge and your time, Josh. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.